I love Quantrix and I want to make you a Quantrix master. Go to quantrixauthority.com to learn more.
Hey, welcome back to another Netcast. I'm Rich Lopez, Quantrix Authority. Sincerely appreciate you joining me today for episode number 344. Count the number of a specific character in a cell. I have here a column of data. This data is all showing up as kind of one straight line. But if I were to expand the data here, you would see that it is actually broken out into different rows of information. What I would like to know is I would like to count how many rows there are within each of these cells, how many rows of data there are. So I want to look for a specific character. And that specific character that I want to look for is actually the ASCII code CHAR 10. Okay? And so what I'm going to do is my first step to figure out how many CHAR 10 codes there are, or how many lines there are, because CHAR 10 is a hard return or next line command. I am going to first take in step one, I'm first going to say that step one is equal to len of this text. Okay? And then step two, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the len and I'm going to substitute out from this text, I'm going to substitute out CHAR 10. And my new text is going to be double quote, double quote, so it's going to be nothing. And I'm going to close that len. And so what I can see here is I go from 511 to 512. And when I'm looking for my CHAR 10 character, and that doesn't quite look right to me because I see there's multiple lines. And what I believe I'm missing is the number of instances here is I want to substitute all of the instances. So I put an asterisk within double quotes. You can see that's an optional input within Quantrix. When I do that, now it's looking like it's a lot better. I'm getting a larger difference between the number of what has, what len is just by itself, and then with the CHAR 10 substituted out. So then what I do is I simply say step 1 minus step 2 is the number of returns that I have within this cell. So you can see that this cell is gigantic in the fact that it has 318 different lines of data. If I were to remove that sort, though, we would see that on the example that I had, that, yeah, it looks like it's probably going down 10 hard returns. That's how you can count the number of a specific character within a string. I could also go out here and change out char, and let's say that I wanted to go out and just look at the square brace. So what I would do is I'd hit enter here, and I could put in, say, square brace, left square brace, hit enter. It shows it as showing up 7 times. And if I were to then expand this and say, well, does that look right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sure enough, it's only counting 7 of this square brace. Could I go in here and put CHAR 10 with a carriage return, which is a control enter? I sure can. I can just hit a control enter, forces a carriage return, or that ASCII code CHAR 10, and it now appears as 10 over here, giving me that for how many times that particular character occurs. For whatever reason, maybe I want to know how many A's there are in the string. I can type in A, and it will tell me that A happens 28 times. So again, the way I'm doing that is I'm using len, and then I'm using a len substitute function with a substitute every instance with this optional asterisk. And then I'm subtracting the 2 here. If you have any questions about anything in Quantrix, I really hope that you'll reach out to me at quantrixauthority@gmail.com and ask me that question. I really do want to make you a Quantrix master. I absolutely love Quantrix, and I hope that you will join me for another episode of Quantrix Authority with Rich Lopez.
Today's podcast is brought to you by quantrixauthority.com. I love Quantrix and I want to make you a Quantrix master.